What's up, guys? Welcome to my first Pokemon X and Y battle so far, and this is actually my first Wi-Fi battle ever. It's not my first competitive battle because I've been on like Showdown and stuff. But anyways, let's get into the match. And this screen, I'd like to point out, takes way too long to load. Anyways, so as you can see, she's going to lead out with her Charizard, and I'm going to lead out with my Ferrothorn. I led out with my Ferrothorn just to get the rocks up, but she's going to go for the Focus Blast. And the reason why I stayed in right here, if you're curious, is because I thought it was going to be a Mega Charizard X, and I have a ton of defense being a Ferrothorn. So it's like I'll probably be able to live whatever she has, but of course that wasn't the case. Anyways, I set up my rocks, and I do live just barely. Kind of out of order, but whatever. Alright, so I switch into my Talonflame thinking I can live a Fire Blast or a Focus Blast or whatever she wants to go for. And of course I do live because, you know, I resist it. And I live with just over half, or no, just under half, sorry. And of course my leftovers get me back up to slightly over half. And right here I'm thinking I might not live another Fire Blast, so I use Roost just so I can get back up to full, or yeah, back up to full health. And then she goes for the Fire Blast one more time, and you know, this is just kind of a stall war at this point that I'm gonna win because of power points and her move's inaccurate, but that's not quite what happens. It doesn't just last for all 5 turns of Fire Blast or 8 turns or whatever, depending on how many PP-ups or whatever she used. Anyways, I go for the Roost right here, and it brings me back up to full again. This turn, she's going to do something different. She's going to go for the Substitute. I'm assuming her thought process was, this is just going to be a battle, or a stall war that I'm going to lose. I go for the Brave Bird right here, thinking I'm going to knock out the Substitute, and I have enough HP to live a Fire Blast and the Recoil, or whatever she wants to go for. And, of course, I do live the Recoil, of course, because I'm at full HP, but, you know, that wasn't awkward at all. Anyways, she goes for the Roost right here, which she's actually running a very annoying set. 2 attacking moves and then Roost and Substitute. But I can't tell you that I've never run that set before, to be perfectly honest. Anyways, now she's going to withdraw her Charizard and go into her Kingdra. I'm obviously going to go for the Brave Bird right here, just because, if I could talk, just because I know I'm going to outspeed this thing because of Gale Wings, and, you know, it's going to do a decent amount. Or no, I go for the Brave Bird, because I'm thinking I'll knock out the Charizard. That's what I meant to say. Never mind. Anyways, so I do get the Kingdra down to very little amount of health, and then I go for one more Brave Bird, and I knock it out. I'm not sure why she didn't switch out here, because she could have salvaged her Kingdra, but whatever. So now she's going to switch into her Carbink, unless I'm incorrect, which I probably am. Yeah, I think I am incorrect. No, she goes into her X-Drill, sorry. Anyways, right here, I'm thinking there's no way I'm going to live a Rock Slide, because that's almost indefinitely what she's going to go for. So I switch out into my Ferrothorn, thinking I might be able to live a Rock Slide. I do have a ton of defense and HP, so yeah. Or not, HP actually doesn't matter, whatever, I'm at 25, and then I do end up living it with 7 HP, which is very nice, and right here, she's gonna go for the Rapid Spin to get away the rocks, and I end up living with 3 HP, which is very nice, because although she does get rid of my rocks, I get 25% damage off with my Rocky Helmet and Iron Barbs. Anyways, right here I'm gonna go for the Power Whip, which by the way has an amazing animation in this game. And then she's just gonna go for the Earthquake, you know, so she doesn't miss or take damage from whatever. So she does knock out my Ferrothorn. Then I go back into Talonflame thinking, you know what, I'm just gonna outspeed this thing with a Gale Wings, whatever it's called, Gale Wings Brave Bird. But of course she outsmarts me here and goes into her Carbink, because she knows that whatever I go for is gonna be resisted by Carbink, and this thing has a ton of defense, which is super annoying. Anyways, right here, I'm like, there's no way I'm switching in. This thing's just gonna go for a Rock-type move and crush my soul. So I go out into my... I have to wait for the battle to catch up. Here we go. I go out into my Scizor, which, if you haven't guessed yet, is my Mega Scizor, because I don't have any other Pokemon that can Mega Evolve in general. So right here, she's gonna set up the Stealth Rocks, which isn't too big of a deal. None of my team is super weak to it, other than Talonflame, which... it's whatever. And I'm going to go for the Bullet Punch right here, thinking, you know what, this thing's super weak to steel. It's going to die almost inevitably from a Bullet Punch. But she goes out into her Charizard, again, outsmarting me, but it's not a huge deal, considering you'll see why. So a Bullet Punch is actually going to do, like, 40% on this Charizard, which is insane, because it's a Charizard and it's a resisted hit. I guess Charizard doesn't have the greatest defenses, but that's still quite a bit. Anyways, right here I'm going to go into my Electivire, thinking I could probably live at least one Fire Blast. I'm not sure if I could have lived a Fire Blast, because you'll see what happens if you haven't already guessed. Yeah, she ends up getting crit. I think I could have lived one Fire Blast. I could have been wrong, and I don't want to do the damage calculations, so the world will never know. Ah! Anyways, and then a little bit of Life Orb damage from her Life Orb. I go back into my Talonflame, and I get destroyed by rocks. And right here, I'm thinking, there's no way I'm going to go for a Brave Bird, because I'd just be sacrificing my Talonflame. And I can just go for a Roost, and then get up to half health. And then she goes into her Carbink, of course. I guess I kind of forgot that she had this thing. But anyways, I heal up to a little bit over half health. A little, yeah, like over half health, just because of leftovers and stuff. So then I go out into my Scizor again, of course, and this Carbink is going to go for the Stone Edge. But I am a max defense Scizor, unless I'm incorrect. It's either max defense or max HP. I can't quite remember. But she's going to go for the Stone Edge, and I'm going to go for the Pursuit, thinking right here, you know what, it's going to switch out, and I want to get up off a little bit, at least a little bit of damage on this thing. So now she's going to switch back out into her Excadrill, because I'm assuming at this point it was just for sacrifice, so that she could get a free switch into Charizard, which I guess was pretty smart. I most likely would have done the same thing in her position, but now she's going to go into Charizard, and I'm going to go for the Bullet Punch, of course, because I'm thinking, even if it lives this hit, which it does, it'll still get a ridiculous amount of damage, and she's not going to go for the Roost, but actually she misses her Fire Blast, which is really nice, and of course, right here, I go for the Bullet Punch again, thinking, you know what, I'm just going to outspeed and win, but that didn't quite happen, because she switched it out. Anyways, I go for the Bullet Punch. It does about 20%, I'm guessing, maybe a little bit less or a little bit more, but now she's going to Mega Evolve into her Mega Scizor, not Pinsir. I don't know what I'm thinking. Anyways, and she's going to go for the Bullet Punch. This is just kind of an annoying cycle that we're going to go through, because I believe we both had Roost and Bullet Punch, and that was all we were going to use. But I do go for the Roost, and I get up to almost full HP. Not quite, though. She's going to go for one more Bullet Punch. I believe I have more attack investment in mine than she does in hers, but not by a ton. Because she does outspeed me, and I think that's because of, she probably put a little bit of speed EVs into hers, and I didn't put any into mine. But right here, she's going to go out into her Sylveon. I'm not quite sure why, just because I was going for a Bullet Punch, and there's no way Sylveon's going to live a Bullet Punch from a Mega Scizor. So, yeah, Sylveon gets wrecked right there. And then Charizard comes out, and I go for the Bullet Punch on this thing, just like, no, I was going for the Bullet Punch, but she runs away, or quits, or whatever you want to call it, just because, based on what happened, I could have easily knocked out her team. I would have gone for a Bullet Punch, knocked out a Charizard, and then I would have gone for a Bullet Punch to knock out her Carbink, and to knock out her Scizor, I could have either Bullet Punched it to death, or I could have gone out into my Talonflame and knocked it out. But either way, that's the end of the match. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like down below. And don't forget, if you guys would like to battle me, all you have to do is check the description, add me on your 3DS, and then put your friend code in the comments, and I will reply to it as soon as I can. Anyways, guys, see you next time. Bye.